Come Thanksgiving time, I absolutely buy up as many cheap turkeys as I can and I hoard them in my freezer. Throughout the year, whenever I need a turkey, I have one. They're nothing special, they're frozen turkeys. They're the ones that they usually have a promotion on come Thanksgiving time. You know, it's like spend $100, you get a turkey for free or get it for 20 cents a pound, what have you. Incredible value, throw them in the freezer, they'll last for up to a year. And that's kind of the problem now. I'm coming up on a year, I had a turkey in the freezer, I figured, hey, let me take it out, smoke it off. Now, what I like to do to smoke it off is I like to spatchcock it, or I cut out the back and press it down flat. And what that does is it allows it to cook a little bit more evenly, it takes on a little bit more smoke in my opinion, and it just cooks much, much faster. So it's a pretty simple process. The only thing that you're really gonna absolutely need is a set of quality poultry shears. You're not gonna get your regular kitchen shears to cut through the backbone or potentially even that big kind of hip bone of the turkey. You have to get these, you know, kind of more heavy duty ones, and they're kind of spring loaded, which will help you along the way to get through those bones. So without further ado, let's get this thing out of the package. We'll take the backbone out and I'll show you how I season it and we'll get it on the smoker. Okay, first things first, we have to get rid of this netting. Get off into the pan. What I like to do is I like to cut it from right here, right around this kind of clasp, because I want to protect that skin. And then what I'll do is I'll lay it down and I'll do my best to keep all the juice in that package. Then this plastic guy is going to come out. And I'm actually going to also cut off the tail. All right. Any excess skin comes off. This guy, out of here. Okay, now I've got to get the innards out. Now what we got to do is we got to flip her over. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut through here and then through here. So we're going to take our shears. And we're going to just come up through and snip. And that's the hardest part, right through that kind of hip bone. What you want to try to do is get it in the joint and it'll cut nice and clean. All right, now we're going to repeat here. Yeah. And this is what you're taking out. So this is it. Okay, now, a couple little ice crystals left behind. That's no big deal. It's pretty well thought out. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my knife, I'm just gonna push it down right there. Smack her open, and now she'll lay nice and flat. And that is exactly what we're looking for. What I like to do is I like to take the wings and tuck them underneath. She's laid out nice and flat. She's gonna cook super evenly. We're gonna season her, but before I do that, I'm gonna fire up the Yoder. I'm gonna set her for 300 degrees, and we're gonna maintain that 300-degree cook, and it's gonna take probably about 2.5 to 3 hours. I'll probe it, and I'll keep an eye on her. And I'm not gonna do any spritzing, anything like that, because I want the skin to crisp up. At 300 degrees, I should end up with a nice crispy skin. And when she's just about done, I'll probably goose the temperature just a little bit to ensure that crispness. And we should get a beautiful color on this, nice light smoke flavor, and it should be ever so juicy. So let's get the Yoder fired up. She's humming along. I hear the pellets hitting the cook pot. She'll be fired up in no time. I'll give her about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get to that 300 degrees. In the meantime, we're gonna season our bird. We're gonna let her sit out so that the air could dry that skin as much as possible. Today, we're going with the Killer Hogs Hot BBQ rub. I like to put a barbecue rub on my turkey. It just gives it that great smoky barbecue flavor that I'm looking for. Now, the trick is you could just put it on the skin, but what you really have to do is you have to get it under the skin. And you're gonna wanna lift the skin up, move it out of the way, sprinkle your rub, then replace it, and then when you're all done, you're gonna coat the skin with the barbecue rub. So you're gonna have it on top and underneath. So this way, when you're slicing that breast and the skin rips off, you still have that barbecue flavor. Now, in order to do this, what you have to do is you have to, like I said, you've got to get that skin out of the way. So what you do is you're gonna take your hands, you're gonna kind of get up underneath the skin on each thigh here, and you're just gonna work it. And you're gonna work that drum right out, and you're just gonna fold that skin all the way down. Okay, so now all that meat's exposed. Now you hit it with the rub. And this is a big piece of meat. It could handle a lot of rub. So I'm really gonna hit it hard. And now you fold that skin back. All right, same thing on the other side. I like to start up here high, get my hand underneath, and I kind of just sweep it underneath that skin. And I just get my hand under there, and now I can kind of pull that drumstick forward. And the whole key here is not to rip that skin. Again, beautiful. So hit it again. And again, I do this pretty generously. And now we'll fold her back. Okay. Now the same thing with the breast. I'm gonna have to turn this around to do this. But what I like to do is get my hand up under there as far as possible. Okay, so now my hand is in here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna really coat my hand up. Kind of fist it the best I can, and I'm gonna just deposit all that rub, and I'm gonna spread it all around up underneath on that breast meat. All right, beautiful. Same thing on the other side. And you're gonna do your best not to break that skin. Same thing. Really liberal. Get my hand in there, open my hand, drops all that great rub in there, and I'm gonna spread it all over. And now I've got that great barbecue flavor all throughout that breast. With everything beautifully coated inside. Now I'm gonna take my rub and I'm gonna hit the outside. And that's it. So now I'm gonna let that sit. I'm gonna try to let that air dry a little bit, and we're gonna get her on the Yoder as soon as she's up to temp. Pellet smoker's up to temp. Let's get this bird on there. Get a probe in the thigh. Get another probe right in the breast. She's on there. Let's see, the Yoder is holding at about 310. It was about 320 when I threw it on there. We're gonna keep it at 300. We're gonna goose it to like 375 for like the last 20 minutes. We'll be checking in periodically. It's been about 2 hours and 20 minutes. We're at about 165 in the thigh and 154 in the breast. And it's time to goose the heat a little bit to crisp up that skin and finish this off. All right, so we're at 375 now. Can't wait, it's smelling amazing. All right, this bird is done. She's about 165 in the breast and 175 in the thigh, maybe closer to 180 in the thigh. So we're definitely time to get her off. Now, had the fireboard probes plugged in and they were a little bit low. So I always have a little trouble finding that exact center spot, but that's where your Thermopen comes in. This thing's awesome because it's so super responsive. You could open it up, put it in, and you could back it off and you could find that center like almost instantly. Whereas a regular probe thermometer takes 4, 5, 6 seconds to kick in and you're moving it up and down, you're not really sure. So anyway, I'm sure this is the perfect temp. We're getting it off now. Okay, this is where the cotton liners come in. You gotta have some hand protection because this is gonna be pretty hot when I pull it off. All right, so gloved up, cotton liners. Gonna pull it. Get these probes out of here. And I mean, it's gonna be hot, so I'm gonna move quick. Oh God, that is gorgeous. I mean, it's got a nice mahogany, deep mahogany color here. So it's time to carve. I'm not gonna let this rest at all. I'm just gonna like blow through it. I've got some really hungry people in here. Because of the probes being off just a little bit on my fireboard, I told everybody like 20 minutes and now they're all like, it's 40 minutes later and they're all complaining in there. So let's get this thing disassembled. So wing, I mean, the wing is basically gonna pull apart. Nice wing. Charm that. The swing off. This one does not want to cooperate. Next one. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna separate the drumstick and thigh from the whole carcass. So kind of slice down along that line, pull it away, and look at that. It's basically just gonna come right apart for us. So right down that line, lift it up, beautiful. All right, so what I like to do is I like to hold it up like this and just kind of cut down into that knuckle and spread it. Now I could see that joint, spread a little bit more, and I know right where to cut. Big old thigh. And it comes right apart like that. I mean, you'd pay a lot of money in the fair to know on this thing. Beautiful thigh. Okay, so now the breast. I've got the big keel bone right there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice down just to the left of that keel bone. Okay, and then I'm gonna follow those ribs right across. And I'm gonna kind of lift up as I go. And what that's gonna do is it'll separate that breast. And don't be afraid, you know, with those liners, your hands are protected. Don't be afraid to get in there and just lift up and separate it with your hands. There's that little wishbone. And now That's good for soup. I've got my breast. Now you see the importance of seasoning underneath the skin. So the skin wants to flop around, but it doesn't matter because I got so much seasoning underneath there. And now I could just make my nice slices. This board is absolutely dripping with juice. I hope that's coming across on camera. I'm gonna give this a taste. Great barbecue flavor. Love that rub. It's not too spicy, even though it was a spicy rub, it's not that bad. Little skin. Crunchy, not rubbery. Make sure you boost that temperature at the end. Anyway, I'm gonna finish breaking this down. I'm gonna make some people inside really, really happy. If you like what you see here, give us a share, give us a like, give us a comment, tell us what you wanna see us cook next. And most of all, please, get out there and cook, have some fun. We'll see you next time. This is good stuff.